Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Zauberhaft. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII on A and Z. You see Saz's posture? He's thinking about something. He's like in deep thoughts, and Vanille has just seated herself comfortably waiting for something, and that is going to be the reading section of Datalog of Final Fantasy. We are gonna be recapping the past events and learning about all the things that have been happening on the background, about the society of Cocoon, about some myths and legends of this game, if anything added currently. So yes, thank you for staying with me, and if you are watching this section, not having skipped it up until like the following episode of action, thank you very much. We're going directly to the data log. Oh yeah, everything is so much enlightened here. I'll begin with the very start with the events. We got chapter 2. In the shadow of the sea. Military weapons stalk the halls of the vestige. So that, yeah. We are recapping the events from the very last time I have started this session of Final Fantasy, the row of episodes. So I have started today with the vestige, and I have already got the entire way through up over here, so up to this particular place, the Vile Peak. So we'll recap the events from the vestige. Military weapons stalk the halls of the vestige. Though the SciComm Recon team that uncovered the lower world being 2 days previous is still trapped inside, Lightning and Saz know that the real threat is not a part of the Sanctum Army, but the Pulse Foul Sea and its servant, the Sea. Servant was supposed to be Sarah, and they actually discovered that she was harmless. Luckily. Oh yeah. Pulse L'Cie are former humans who have become agents of destruction. At least that's what the local people believe in. Those residents living near the vestige face being purged simply because of their proximity to the Foul Sea and the possibility that its power has bound them into servitude. Yep, quite accurate here. With tales of L'Cie haunting his thoughts, Hope hears Snow's voice calling in the distance.
Sarah! You hear me? Your hero's on the way!
Almost drunk. I mean, as though he's intoxicated with the feeling of heroism and the hope that he will save Sarah. I mean, that's a noble thing to do, right? Although he plans to confront Snow over his mother's death, the reality of the situation becomes too much for Hope to bear. That was quite seeable. I saw that, that's for sure. He cannot go through with it. Not yet. Sure, Hope couldn't, and that is something that you could, read on his face. I believe that's really nicely done here. I mean, the characters and the graphics on the characters' faces, it's all really, really shown really brightly. And I will say the word really for one more time. Really. Sorry guys, I'm using tautology a lot more than I'm supposed to. I really understand Hope's feelings, and nobody's trying to comfort him. And I know that the game's audience also doesn't really think all that much about Hope. He's really an irritating point for a lot of people, and I also understand these things. Nobody likes a whiny baby, but his situation is natural, I got to admit that too. So yeah, on the positive side, which I'm always on, that's what I'm supposed to say. Hope has reason for such behavior, given that he's like, how old is he? I believe he's 12 if memory serves. He's not that strong yet. And the society of Cocoon is not that strong because, well, just because. They have been, like, sheltered by the Foul Sea. The Foul Sea have been giving them anything they need. Like, where is the base for forming a strong character? That's the question I would ask. So that's natural. That's really natural that Hope doesn't have this strong character. Unlike, for example, Lightning, about whose family we don't know a thing at this point. Snow, nothing of the kind. And Hope is just a normal, regular citizen of Cocoon. This is how they feel. We can just see how the ordinary people of Cocoon feel while looking at Hope. Except for only one fact that he is a l'Cie, and the rest are not. Okay, saving the enemy, meaning Sarah. Both l'Cie are cursed beings who wield supernatural power and whose very existence incites panic and destruction. Ooh, scary, scary. Hope explodes into a rage upon hearing that Snow plans to rescue Sarah. Ah, how can you help an enemy? I remember that. Now a l'Cie himself. Irony. Even if she's Snow's fiancée, nothing good can come of helping a sworn enemy of Cocoon. Stop here! Brainwashing information! Not a sworn enemy of Cocoon, but enslaved enemy of Cocoon. Meaning, she didn't give any oath to destroy Cocoon. She was forced to become an enemy of Cocoon. There is a difference, and that's the very gist of it. So yeah, interesting datalog thing using the word sworn here. Enemy. It's not a sworn enemy, it's made up enemy. If even an enemy, we don't know yet. I mean, we are all l'Cie, and we don't know if we should destroy Cocoon, so Sarah even said she would like to save it. She said we could save it, even being l'Cie. So, I believe that that's another point to confirm that it is all just a brainwashing information here. The situation only serves to magnify Hope's hatred to the man he holds responsible for his mother's death. Oh, really? Alright, I do understand that, because Hope is a little bit too concentrated on his own feelings right now, not being able to look around and understand the situation others are in. A little bit selfish from his point. Yeah, that's the point for criticizing. You can be enveloped in your own thoughts, whatever and however you are, but don't you insult others, don't you be ignorant to others. That means you are probably a little bit too overwhelmed with your own crises. Alright. Shaking with fury, he's unable to form the words he so desperately wants to say. Oblivious to Hope's anger and worried for their safety, Snow decides to bring Hope and Vanille along on his mission. Yeah, because he didn't want to leave him alone in the center, in the core of the lair of the beast, basically. Meanwhile, Saz explains the cruel fate of a person cursed as a l'Cie. L'Cie are bound in eternal service to a foul sea, and failure to carry out the focus results in transformation into mindless abomination, a thief, or basically a zombie, or any generally undead creature. Yeah, you see, not a sworn enemy, but enslaved enemy. They're enslaved, they're forced to do this. Even if they start to wreak havoc all around Cocoon, they are not responsible because they're enslaved. I mean, hey, what do you want from them? Basically, just go around and say, "Let me get turned into a monster." And alternatively, if they allow themselves getting turned into monsters, those mindless guys will stalk the streets of Cocoon and eventually, endanger the local population no matter what. So it's better to go for the completion of the focus, at least. At least that will, stop the disaster from spreading out. I mean, you will inflict some damage, but at least you will not... Well, at least you will stop the damage from being dealt in the future, somehow. Maybe. That's my prediction. A person shackled by the l'Cie curse is beyond salvation. Sorry to hear that, sorry to say that. As Saz comes to his grim conclusion, Lightning angrily compares him to those who insisted on the purge. She knows full well the doom that awaits LSE and will do anything in her power to save her sister from that fate. And honestly, she did. She, at least at least she turned into a crystal. That's a lot better to know. A legend on Cocoon states that if LSE complete their focus given by the fal'Cie, they turn into crystal and gain eternal life. And just as the legend describes, Sarah, Lightning's younger sister and fiancée to Snow, glows with incredible light and turns into crystal. But has she truly gained eternal life? And what focus has she completed? Yeah, nobody knows for sure. At least crystal is a lot safe than a thief, I guess. And nobody will have to kill her just for the measures of safety. That's the safe side. The bad side, though, is being a solid crystal. Does it really mean to stay alive and be eternally alive? Doesn't look like that anyway. So that's the arguable point here. And that's what the characters are concerned with. This timeless crystal sleep seems nothing more than another form of death to Lightning, and she turns her feelings of grief and anger upon Snow. Yeah, that's what we have seen. Snow, however, refuses to give up hope of a future where Sarah will return to him. Yeah, because that would be a considerable psychological shock for him. His beloved is dead and she is never gonna come back. Then I'm guessing his inner world will get destroyed if he admits that fact, so he chooses to stick with the thought that she is alive, even though it is a legend, a fact that is not remotely proven scientifically. Well, anyway, it's his choice, just to preserve his personality and character, just to keep it together. Just then, the Sanctum army begins its assault on the Vestige. That's what we have seen. Though it may mean sharing the Vestige imminent destruction, the group heads ever deeper into the complex. Snow seeks to persuade the fal'Cie to release his fiancée, while Lightning and Saz have other plans in mind. Basically, they're getting vindictive and want to make the fal'Cie repay the debt. Good. And Snow just pleading it, and the fal'Cie is ignorant and deaf to his pleas. Pulsian menace, or Pulsian, I believe. Snow pleads with the fal'Cie. He offers himself in Sarah's place if it will release her from her fate. Pathetic, I think, because the fal'Cie has plans for this, and it won't change its plans just because somebody's asking and please. The fal'Cie remains silent. Seeing Snow's desperate pleas go unanswered, Seeing Snow's desperate pleas go unanswered, Lightning and Saz draw weapons on the lower world being. Even if the fal'Cie will soon be destroyed along with the Vestige, the entire Vestige, they have reasons to defeat it with their own hands. Yeah, I think so. Saz wants to defeat it because of the reason we don't know yet, and I also think the entire destruction of the city of Bodom and the Hanging Edge is pretty enough already for the situation. Because seeing a lot of your fellow citizens dead just because of this fal'Cie is enough reason to, plant hatred in your heart and get filled with rage you want to unleash upon this fal'Cie. I really think it's right. And as for Lightning, this fal'Cie has taken her younger sister, claimed her as his slave, and then turned her into a crystal, basically just a solid frozen being with no life inside. At least that's what she thinks. Isn't that enough of a reason to, dispatch this foul sea and cut it into as many pieces as possible, as humanly and, I know, possible for the foul sea. Yeah, they have their own reasons. And probably Snow is just faced with no choice but joining them in a fight. Seeing Snow's desperate pleas go unanswered, yeah, that's what we should keep in mind. They work together to bring down the foul sea, and the vestige now plummets towards the lake below. A final wave of power explodes from the dying foul sea, transforming the water and surrounding area into solid crystal. But it doesn't transform any alive beings into solid crystal as soon as I think. But it transforms even fire itself into a crystal, which is interesting. Lightning and the others do not witness this breathtaking event. Upon defeating the foul sea, they are drawn through the rift into a dimension where an immense outworldly presence awaits. Or basically the true appearance of the foul sea. They have seen his last moments when the foul sea has shown itself to them in its real magnitude and power. Onto their bodies it sears cursed brands, onto their minds the vision of a beast-destroying cocoon. Swept along by unimaginable energies, the helpless companions are swallowed in a lightless void. As Snow drifts in the darkness, one memory flies to the surface of his consciousness. Oh yeah, he like was caught in the void and like everybody else, and this whole day, I mean the 11th day when he kissed Sarah, when they got engaged, when he gave her this nice necklace, he just tried to remember this happiest day in his life, I believe. This is the only memory he got, and we had to live this memory through along with him. I believe so. That's what I think. This is what I catch from the game. This is how I evaluate it. Bound in darkness. Lightning feels nothing but anger towards the Pole's foul sea. Yeah, that's what I was describing a little bit earlier. It had taken Sarah and cursed her with the Lassie's doomed existence. Yeah, let's just avenge my sisters, Lightning says. It is the underlying reason for the purge. And it is an enemy to be cut down if she is to fulfill Sarah's final request to save Cocoon. Oh, that also played a role into her decision. Well, in her decision. So also, being filled with rage and hatred, she also heeded Sarah's last words and basically just believed that destroying this foul sea was the last thing she could do to save Cocoon, because the foul sea has caused all that ruckus. Yeah, pretty reasonable too. Lightning's aggression provokes the foul sea into action and it attacks her. Saz draws his guns with grim resolve and Snow joins the battle without hesitation. As they deal the killing blow to the master of the vestige, a flash of light rends the air. They're pulled into a swirling void of chaos where they are bound by an ominous and inexorable entity. Branded with arcane markings, the companions are then assaulted with the vision of a terrible beast tearing Cocoon apart. Soon after, the vestige finally succumbs to the combined attacks of the Sanctum forces. Yeah. Very, very filled with... Well, yeah, this is so filled with pathos right here. Yeah, I cannot say it better myself. In the midst of the chaos, a memory surfaces from the depths of Snow's fading awareness. A marriage proposal made to his beloved Sarah under the night sky, lit with the colors of the exploding fireworks. Can his wish for a happy future ever be granted now? Well, that's the question. If you truly believe in wish-granting fireworks, then maybe. Ha! Branded. The events of the 3rd chapter right now. After being caught in the destruction of the vestige, the group awakens directly under the hanging edge and the expanse of a solidified lake pressure. Oh yeah. And after an after effect of the energies released by the dying foul sea, the waters of the lake are now frozen in crystal splendor. Despite having survived a fall from an incredible height, the companions are unable to appreciate their luck, as each one of them now bears a brand of alien design. The mark, seared on their bodies, signifies their servitude to a foul sea and the gift of magical powers. Yep, they are. Believe it or not, like it or not, you are a slave, but you are a mage. Interesting. Interesting dilemma here. It is the brand of a cursed Lassie. Worse, they must now complete their assigned focus if they are to avoid becoming monstrous thief. Though none can say for sure what their focus actually entails. Their only clue is the vision they all witnessed in the great beast laying waste to Cocoon. Ragnarok. Though all signs point to a bleak and tragic destiny, Snow alone remains optimistic. Why, Vanille also was quite optimistic throughout the entire chapter. Convinced that his focus is to grant Sarah's wish and save Cocoon, he sets off full of confidence. And basically I'm siding with him. Since Sarah was a Lassie, and she had a focus, and she had the thoughts, and she had to deal with this, and having completed her focus, she said we could save Cocoon. So she must have had the information. I'm inclined to believe her at this point. Even if I imagine that I have never played this game, I'm led by this particular lead here. Nothing more on this? Yep. A vision shared. Now that they are Pulse the Sea, Lightning and the others try to figure out what their focus could be. The only thing they know for certain is that the rampaging beast Ragnarok is somehow involved. Or at least they're not saying he is laying waste to Cocoon, or it. Snow is convinced that their focus is to protect their world by defeating the beast, but one fact contradicts his belief. Pulse Lassie are the hated enemies of Cocoon. A Pulse Foul Sea would never assign such a task to its servants. Well, that's what they think about this. That's what their conventional policies say, and that's what they teach in during the classes of history, as soon as I can make out in Cocoon. But it is not necessarily true. Lightning is infuriated by Snow's refusal to accept this logic. Oh, really? Lightning is infuriated. But why? Does she also want to destroy Cocoon? This is not quite clear at this point. As she sees it, the Foul Sea not only made them into Lassie, it also took her sister from her. Oh yeah, as if I didn't know that. The former soldier could never bring herself to meekly follow the orders of such being, and Snow's apparent surrender to its will, however misinterpreted, is more than she can stand. Oh, now I get this. She is not even concerned with the focus because she doesn't want to serve it one way or another. No matter the task is, she thinks still that the Foul Sea is an evil and ominous being that only wants harm and that only wants destruction, no matter via what reasons and means. Well, also pretty understandable if I place myself in her shoes. As they trade hatred words, Sanctum soldiers surround their location. Yeah, I told you not to quarrel, but hey, they would continue on, they wouldn't listen. Of course you have attracted the attention. Arguments will have to wait. For now, they must concentrate on surviving. Finally, someone must have beaten this thought into their heads. Partings and promises. Is she dead or merely sleeping? Sarah, now a silent statue, is trapped in a crystal embrace. She is a crystal. She's not like covered with a crystal shell. She is a crystal herself, right? Lightning doesn't wish to leave her behind, but reluctantly says her farewells. The army is on their trail. If they stop to dig Sarah free, their pursuers will certainly catch them. However, Snow is not ready to say goodbye. Yep, for sure. I have already commented upon this, so I'll just finish this reading here. He elects to stay behind, protect Sarah, and somehow fulfill her wish to save Cocoon. I only did not understand quite the thing. What if he digs her out? Will he carry her, the solid crystal statue, all the way around? He will slow down the movements of his own. He will be drained out of its powers, out of its breath. I believe that the crystallized Sarah is a little bit heavier than she used to be in a human form. I believe she doesn't weigh anything. She's so cute and small, and she's like so... Oh man, she's so lovely. So she's like as pure and as light as a princess. But nevertheless, even if you dig her out, Mr. Snow, that wouldn't help you in any bit. You will be forced to stand around her and fight till the very end. And this is what was proven to him while the soldiers were assaulting. The soldiers did assault, they caught him, they dug out Sarah, and now both Sarah and Snow are in their hands. And there is nothing to stop them from doing whatever they prefer to Snow at this point. If they're hostile. Yeah. Very nice. Knowing they cannot change his mind, Lightning and the others continue on their way. Hope drags himself away from Snow for what might be the final time, and the chance to say what he's burning to say is lost. Yep. I don't even know for how long it's gonna last, and Hope, having lost his opportunity, is forced to cradle this thought in his mind till its mind is losing the last capacity to bear this any longer. Sorry. Sorry, Hope. Sometimes you are supposed to be able to force things from yourself. Looks like it's going to be a very painful lesson to him. Casting the net. Lightning and the others leave Snow behind with a crystallized Sarah. As they continue their flight across the glassy expanse of Lake Brescia, the four companions spy a large contingent of Sanctum soldiers. Yeah, there were just an entire squad of them. In order to hunt down and exterminate the Purge fugitives, the government is mobilizing the inordinate number of troops. This is what they're using the army for. There is no other purpose in keeping that large of an army, so let's just utilize it to pursue and track down the fugitives, right? The excessive reaction is further proof of Cocoon's fear and hatred of Pulse. Yeah. And the brainwashing and everything. Even those who have barely come into contact with lower world elements cannot be permitted to even exist. This is all-consuming fear of some imagined corruption in the origin of the Purge. The entire population of a town was subjected to the Purge simply for living near the uncovered Pulse Fal'Cie. It was Cocoon citizens in their terror who allowed such an extreme policy to become a reality. The government simply acted in response to the will of the people. And Eden, the Fal'Cie who guides the Sanctum, gave its tacit consent through silence. Oh yeah, so the Fal'Cie are also involved. Meaning that the Cocoon Fal'Cie and its protectors and its patrons are not that compassionate and kind as they might seem from the very beginning. Am I catching the words right? Now, after untold bloodshed, a military net is closing in around the fleeing l'Cie, driven by the clamoring of panicked and angry populace. Oh yeah, that's exactly so. That's exactly so, one way or another. Lightning and the others are now cursed l'Cie. Yeah, the only way is up. Well, up the crystallized waters, the mountains of crystallized Brescian waters. If they don't complete the focus given to them by the Fal'Cie, they are destined to become mindless thief. Oh yeah, that's so terrible. But how can they complete a focus that they don't understand? Clear answer. No way, you are. Their shared vision of the great beast Ragnarok laying waste to their world is their only clue. That, and the fact that the Pulse l'Cie are held to the mortal are held to be the mortal enemies of Cocoon. But there's another clue. Why are you missing Sarah's words? That's the better clue, because this is something material. It's not a legend, it's not a vision, it's not a myth. You have Sarah, who gave you at least some words. At least she's a real person to tell the story. At least in a few words she has, but she's the only person who lived to tell the story, so yeah, better to stick with her, better to believe her. Could their focus really be to orchestrate the destruction of their own home? Well, I don't think so. Snow doesn't think so. Yeah, I don't think either. He believes their task is to fulfill Sarah's parting wish by keeping Cocoon safe. After all, wasn't she a l'Cie just like them? Exactly! His shaky logic only serves to infuriate Lightning, who holds him responsible for his sister's fate. Their confirmation is cut short by the arrival of the Sanctum pursuers. I don't see any reason why recap the events like this. It's like one message in the data log is repeating another. But I'm forced to read that anyway. Having made their escape, Lightning and the others passed through the ruins of a city damaged several centuries ago in the war with Pulse. This what this whole thing was. I thought it was some kind of temple or a palace. It was the remains and the ruins of the city that was damaged in the war with Pulse, because it was situated either below the surface of Lake Brescia or simply under the Hanging Edge, and the Hanging Edge, if memory serves, is the area that got destroyed and devastated during and after the war with Pulse. That's happened like several centuries ago and everything. And that was the city, the ancient city that was damaged and destroyed during the war. Oh, so that's the true landmark of the place. And that was rather nice. It was really nice. And just the fact that it was all burning is like as though the history has recapped itself, as though it is the fire of several centuries ago, crystallized in a solid matter after the energy explosion the Fal'Cie emitted. Yeah, that's something I think. That's kind of poetic right now that I'm viewing it that way. Having made their escape, Lightning and the others passed through the ruins of the city damaged several centuries ago in the war with Pulse. Amidst the rubble, they happen upon an airship which they board in the hope of finally shaking the relentless army. And they somehow did, but that didn't last for long, unfortunately. Snow, meanwhile, remains behind with the crystallized Sarah. And this is how it ends up in the twin sisters' encounter. There is no doubt in Snow's mind. They may be Pulse l'Cie, but there is no way they can be enemies of Cocoon. Sarah's last words before she turned to Crystal, and proof enough for him that their focus is to defeat Ragnarok and protect their world. Yeah, Snow stays behind to defend his trapped fiancée, and Lightning... after Lightning and the others decide to continue onward. And I really understand Snow, but the deciding fact is that there is no reason staying near Sarah at this point. A lot of time would be consumed trying to dig her out, and it will end all in one way. The soldiers will catch up in those sky tanks and airships, cruisers, guns, anti-gravity ships, and everything they have, and they will employ all their resources to catch the entire l'Cie crew. And that's what will happen. And thus, we would lose our own liberty, our own freedom, and Sarah, and we'll basically lose everything. So I have made up my mind that I would better go with Lightning and leave Snow, instead of staying with him. That's my decision I would make if I had the choice. If the game permitted me to or something, that might actually be an interesting addition, but that would have reversed the entire gameplay here. Yeah. Brought to his knees by wave after wave of PSICOM soldiers during a protracted battle, the desperate young man is suddenly overcome by a strange phenomenon. The twin sisters of Shiva, Styria and Nyx, that's what their names are, eh? Appear before him in a blinding flash of light. They easily dispatch the remaining troops and then turn on Snow. He manages to defeat the icy Eidolons, but is soon captured by an unfamiliar Sanctum unit. But that was a Sanctum unit anyway, so this is not a good news. A striking woman accompanies the soldiers, a woman with a l'Cie brand. Yeah, the white l'Cie brand one, yeah. Meanwhile, try as they might, Lightning's group cannot shake their determined pursuers. Crippled by enemy fire, their airship plummets towards the ground. And this is how we ended up over here in Vile Peaks at this particular point. Let's also go for 13 days, save people for a little bit later. I'm guessing... Let's go from down up to the top. The proposal. This is the only dream Snow had while captured in a void being branded by the Foul Sea. Snow proposed to Sarah under the brightly exploding fireworks, giving her renewed hope for the future. Sarah still didn't know what her focus was, and had yet to tell Lightning about her l'Cie curse. Oh my god. He had only 2 days, if she only knew. But with Snow by her side, there was no obstacle they couldn't overcome. Yes, because they love each other. I stand by this fact too. Like, it's my character. I believe that there is some kind of true love that unites two people better than anybody else. Well, basically, some people might argue with me, some people don't. But this is what I think, so I side with these two, honestly, and in my feelings and in my logic. Hand in hand, they watched the spectacle of lights illuminate the night sky. In bottom, there is a legend. If you wish on the fireworks, your dreams will come true. Let's see if they do, honestly. If I can, I will do everything I can to make it come true. The bottom vestige was a minor local landmark paid little regard. Really, they should have, actually. Well, I don't understand why, if there's like a possibility that the Foul Sea is within the wreckage from Pulse found all over Cocoon. That is a concern. They should investigate everything as properly as they can. If they can. That changed on this night, when PSICOM discovered that the relic's long-sealed entrance had somehow been opened. Because Foul Sea opened it. A reconnaissance team was sent inside, reporting the discovery of a pulse file C before communication links suddenly went silent. Deeming it's probable that the soldiers had been made l'Cie, the Sanctum then released the door to the vestige, trapping the team inside. Yeah, we're not gonna be saving them. We're not gonna be even trying. We're not gonna be researching the facts. We don't need to. We're superstitious bastards. The following day brought public announcement of both the discovery and the plans for the purge. Terrible. No words. Absolutely, astonishingly, bewilderingly terrible. Yup. It would be Lightning's birthday in 2 days. While out shopping for her present with Sarah, Snow slipping away to buy engagement necklaces. These ones. Oh yeah. Actually, these are peculiar for one thing that I will tell you at the very end of the game. One hint at the spoiler. Just look closely at those two. I will tell you only this one. While I'm reading. Look closely to the necklaces. Aren't they looking a little bit familiar? And what you think their meaning is? Because I think they do have meaning here. They definitely do. It's like the core meaning of the entire game here. Yeah, but I don't want to verbalize that because I don't want to spoil anything for you while watching and while playing if you haven't finished either of these things yet. Yeah, he intended to propose to Sarah the very next day. He knew her fate as a l'Cie, but meant to stand by her no matter what. Meanwhile, Sarah searched for a gift that would help keep Lightning safe during her dangerous work as a soldier. After having her sister the present, Sarah planned to confess about becoming a l'Cie. I don't think that would be that much of a confession. If she had to confess, then she would rather confess about not having told her from the get-go, just the very instant she became a l'Cie, because they would have at least more time to solve the issue that way. But just the fact that she's a l'Cie needs something to be done about this. Not quarrel and argue about the fact, first of all. Let's see what this history and myth section has around here. The XIII. Oh yeah, those are dangerous zombies there. When a fal'Cie takes a human to be one of its l'Cie servants, that person is given a focus to be completed. Should the l'Cie fail to fulfill this focus before his or her brand advances to its final stage, that l'Cie becomes a XIII. Mired in eternal sorrow and regret, and robbed of all free will, XIII are damned to wander the world, unliving and undying, until their corrupted flesh at last can move no more. For XIII there is no salvation. Well, there is. There is a solution, though. Yeah, sorry. There is a solution. We can kill those and put them out of their misery. Nothing more to be said about this. Crystal stasis. For l'Cie, successful completion of a focus holds the promise of eternal life in the peaceful slumber of crystal stasis. Or so the legends say. Quite a scientific way to put what legends say, I should say. Yet to spend an eternity as an immobile crystal is not so very different from death. Yep. Just the fact that you're a crystal. It's a little bit more aesthetic death, I should say. The people of Cocoon consequently fear being marked as a l'Cie, equating the fal'Cie's brand with a death sentence. Yeah, that's reasonable, because you're either a monster or a crystal statue. There is not even a big difference, except for as a monster you can harm other people. And as a crystal being, you just present a very good aesthetic pleasure to look at. So yeah, the choice is, like, between really, really smaller things. You are dead one way or another. At least that's what it looks like. And at least that's what it looks like right now. At this stage of the game and at this stage of the story progression. Faced with only the choice between eternal damnation as a thief and eternal imprisonment in crystal, it comes as little surprise that many l'Cie decry their fate. Oh yeah, this is why we see a lot of Seath around the place, but I wonder if this fal'Cie has been making l'Cie for all this time. There are lots of l'Cie around there. I mean, there were lots of l'Cie, and consecutively there are lots of Seath everywhere around. Well, well. So that fal'Cie is still dangerous because, well, it doesn't like choose the heroes, it points them out one by one, hoping that one of them might be a true hero and finally fulfill the focus. But how many people will be turned to monsters before the focus is filled? That's the question. These eidolons, yeah, these mystical entities reveal themselves before only a select few l'Cie. It is said that they are saviors. That they are saviors come to rescue helpless l'Cie who find themselves bound to a focus against their will. If this is true, they offer a brand of salvation few indeed would seek willingly. Without exception, eidolons attack the l'Cie whose presences they grace. Yeah, they attack and they like challenge the l'Cie. And this is the challenge of death. There have been no l'Cie in Cocoon for centuries, and as a result, no way of determining the truth behind the tales of these beings. To the citizens of Cocoon, they remain the stuff of bedtime stories. So these are basically just mythical creatures, and this is why they are called by the names of the pagan gods. These particular ones are Syria and Nyx, the Shiva sisters, in the picture here. And Ragnarok. Kind of a foggy picture here. Lightning, Snow, and the others saw a phantom vision of this beast upon their branding as l'Cie. In the dream, they witnessed the creature besieging Cocoon's capital of Eden. Thanks for saying all this to me, because I wouldn't have taken anything from this dream if I wasn't reading all this. Like now I'm reading, I'm getting the information, but it is difficult to catch this thing for me from this video I was shown, just because the fact that they named the creature Ragnarok and it's somehow familiar with apocalypse word from Scandinavian myths. That's all I know. But this section actually explains a lot. But whether this was a glimpse of the past events or a vision of the things yet to come was unclear. And it is still unclear. What is clear is that Ragnarok is inextricably linked to their focus. The nature of that focus is what must be done to fulfill it remains to be seen. Nice, very nice. So we will also go for locals or locales. Here we go, the city of Bodom. This is where, I believe this is where every protagonist lived, except for Vanille. Snow, Saz, well, Saz, not sure about Saz, but Snow, Lightning, and Sarah lived in Bodom. That's what I know for sure. Snow was from Bodom, and Lightning was from Bodom. Saz, I don't know for sure yet. Vanille also don't know for sure yet. Well, at least for sure I don't know at all, if I say this word for sure. This modest city by the sea is the hometown of Lightning and Sarah, as well as that of Snow and the members of Nora. Thanks for saying something that I have already said. Known for its relaxing resort-like atmosphere, the location is popular for destination for vacationers. Yeah, I believe so. It's a seaside anyway, and it's really picturesque. It is really nice, and a lot of people are coming here for vacation, for recreation time. Bodom's the largest tourist draw in its annual beachfront fireworks display. But this year's event, yeah, this is annual, so this is happening on yearly basis. But this year's event was ruined by the discovery of the Pulse Foul Sea within the nearby vestige. The Sanctum quarantined the city on the day after this discovery, announcing the plan to purge the Bodom's entire population along with the hapless tourists to Pulse. Yeah, oh, that's terrible. This is like the basic and the first tourist center in Cocoon, and they're just like irrespectively purging everybody, knowing that there might be tourists, and hey, they're coming there just for one day to see the fireworks. But there is a vestige discovered, so they might be able to see. Let's just kill all of them. My god. I mean, how can the society possibly have come up for this? Even as a soldier, even as a sworn soldier, it is really difficult to perform actions like that, even if you have the orders to. It even sounds unreasonable and cruel. It sounds so terrible that that's the tough choice. There must have been a lot of even if this society is brainwashed so much, there should have been a lot of accidents of people who didn't want to perform this action one way or another. I mean, that might have been a nice idea for this game too, as an addition to the plot. Yeah. Everybody, let's purge everything from everywhere. Lake Brescia is located near Cocoon's outer rim, directly beneath the hanging edge. Once a bustling center of activity, this desolate area is now home only to monsters that lurk amongst the centuries-old remnants of civilization. Yeah, that part of Cocoon was destroyed during the War of Pulse and they simply abandoned it. Let's not replenish anything. Let's not, why even try restoring it? Why even try reconstructing cities back? Okay, let's abandon it. We don't need that anymore. That's suspicious. The final wave of power released by the falling Pulse Foul Sea has locked the waters of the lake in solid crystal form, creating a beautiful and unsettling landscape. Vile Peaks. We have just arrived in those... Well, let's just say at the Vile Peaks. I don't think those are important all that much. But for us, they might be. The Vile Peaks are built of debris, the cast-offs of material originally littered up from Pulse by the Foul Sea, and used in the construction of Cocoon and later additions of landmass. Oh, that's an interesting way to construct another world. These towering piles of refuse now serve as lairs for all manner of beasts. Oh yeah, that's also really nice. We are constructing a new world using all these, knowing that there are beasts inside, not really a big deal. People might run into them and get dead. Not of my concern. I'm a fal'Cie. I do whatever I want because I'm a god. Now I'm really starting being more and more suspicious about these things. Oh yeah. Including lower world mechanical horrors that intentionally or not hitched a ride with what became the building blocks of Cocoon. The Sanctum military endeavors to clear out the dangerous inhabitants of the peaks, but some say they leave the job half done to discourage civilians from entering the lowlands. Yep. Exactly. And actually that's also an interesting fact. This is like lowlands, meaning it is as close to Cocoon's core as possible. It's like the very lower surface of Cocoon, and they associate Pulse with the world below. And also they associate Pulse with Hell, So like going down makes you closer and closer to Pulse wreckage, and there's a lot of scrap from Pulse, and there are beasts lurking inside, so that people really being brainwashed. Additionally, are given the proof that there is a world below that is infested with wild and savage creatures that will tear you apart, and there are mechanical horrors too and everything. Yeah, that kind of really fits nice into the story, I should say. We also have Cocoon Society to speak on about the Sanctum fal'Cie. So the Sanctum also has the fal'Cie, not only the Pulse. So there are fal'Cie who are on the side of Sanctum. That's not really a big deal because we are against Sanctum as well as against the Pulse fal'Cie. Yeah, the Sanctum fal'Cie are the unfathomable entities that constructed the floating shell of Cocoon in ages past, and even now watch over the world's human inhabitants. Each is assigned a specific task that supports the existence of Cocoon's grateful populace, such as generating energy or manufacturing food. Yeah, they're doing everything for the people, just as I said. The fal'Cie rarely intervene directly in the governing of society, leaving that responsibility to appointed human representatives. One theory states that including the lower hierarchy of total number of Sanctum fal'Cie exceeds 8 million. Really? 8 million fal'Cie on Cocoon? Oh my god. This is the entire nation of gods of a sort, I believe. Oh yeah. The lower hierarchy of total number of Sanctum fal'Cie. Okay, there are lots of fal'Cie there. Just a huge lot. 8 million. If one mere fal'Cie can cause up such a terrible mess, what can 8 million fal'Cie do? They can do anything. The Guardian Corps. The Guardian Corps. This is like the unit, the army unit associated with the police, which Lightning is from. Well, she used to be a Guardian Corps soldier. So the Guardian Corps is a branch of the Sanctum military responsible for maintaining peace and stability within Cocoon. Within their assigned jurisdictions, the soldiers of the Guardian Corps fulfill the role of police officers and protectors. Yeah, exactly. That's the confirmation for my thoughts here. Working to eliminate all manner of criminal activity, as well as rampaging wildlife. Monsters, that is. As a unit that works alongside the general population, it rarely employs heavy weaponry or cruiser-class airships. However, the Corps does retain squads of highly mobile shock troops. Okay, good to know. So they're like light infantry. Well, generally they are light infantry. Bottom Security Regiment is a section of Guardian Corps stationed in the coastal community of Bodom. Bodom Police, that is. Before the events of the Purge, Lightning belonged to this unit. Oh, nice. Public security issues rarely arose in the sleepy seaside town, and with little trouble from the local fauna, the regiment was one of the least active units in the Corps. During the long spans of downtime, Bottom Security Regiment, known as BSR troops, were often sent to aid exterminating dangerous wildlife in frontier regions. So they were still utilized one way or another. And we got a lot of fal'Cie. We have killed Anima. So Anima is now dead. Let's see what we have around about her. This fal'Cie has been hibernating deep within the Bodom vestige. Is branded Sarah as well as Lightning Snow and the others, condemning them all to the grim fate of Pulse l'Cie. That's I know. Yeah, Fal'Cie loves me, this I know, for the sanctum tells me so. They... really, they do. Okay, this song is not going right now. I will think about it later. Although it appears Anima was brought to Cocoon in the Vestige centuries ago, Sanctum authorities had no knowledge of the alien stowaway's presence. Its discovery and the resultant fear that Bodum's population may have been tainted by its magic spawned the Purge. Yeah, nothing in particular about this entity. Phoenix. Oh, this is this Fal'Cie that we have been flying around during this wonderful cutscene there, shining in the sky. Cocoon's own light in the sky, Phoenix is a Sanctum Fal'Cie tasked with providing warmth and illumination. So it's basically the local sun. It functions as a sun for Cocoon. Whoa, as the sun for Cocoon. Ho. Everything is like artificially made for the populace of Cocoon here by those Fal'Cie. It floats at the center of Cocoon's inner atmosphere like a miniature sun, bathing the surrounding world in its radiant glow. It is the Fal'Cie who are responsible for Cocoon's climate, regularly adjusting weather as deemed necessary, just as Phoenix regulate daylight. Over the subordinate Fal'Cie maintain patterns of wind and precipitation. Oh yeah, and also it governs over lesser Fal'Cie who represent the powers of wind, rain, and everything. It's like the standard pagan cosmogony model, where there is a sun god, which is the higher entity, and other gods are like subordinates to him. The god of wind, the god of rain, the thunder, and normally the god of thunder is the head of the pantheon, but the god of sun is the head of pantheon as well. If there is no god of thunder, I see that this somehow repeats this pattern here. Very interesting. And Eden. I wonder why would they name a Fal'Cie the same as a religious paradise garden? Interesting. The namesake of Cocoon's capital, so yeah, capital of Cocoon also is called Eden. This Fal'Cie directs the orders of its kind, who support the world's day-to-day existence. So this is like the Fal'Cie who performs government and solves governmental issues. While Cocoon's other Fal'Cie do not communicate with humans, Eden does. Presiding over the Sanctum's otherwise human administration, the Fal'Cie is known to issue orders to the Primarch and step in to correct political gaffes on occasion. Okay. So it's like a support hand for the Sanctum government, and they did not object against the Purge. That's what I need to know. So this Fal'Cie was supposed to object if the Purge was incorrect, and if it was a bad choice, a poor choice, but it did not try to intervene at all. Let's kill a lot of people. That's a just thing in the eyes of this Fal'Cie, if it has any eyes. Alright, I'll keep a close eye on you, if I had a chance to. As the sole operational nexus linking untold numbers of Fal'Cie, it is not unthinkable that the loss of Eden could spell the end of Cocoon itself. No wonder. So what also we have is people here, and we got a lot of people to read about. This section appears after the characters start making introductions. So yeah, Lightning, what we know about her, and I also know that this people section is gonna update as long as we go along, so it's necessary to return to this sometimes, because as the story progresses, the information you have around the same people, not only about the new characters in the game, will change, so yeah. This former soldier was a member of the Guardian Corps Bottom Security Regiment, last name Farron. She's known as Lightning, but her true name is a mystery, as though she has no passport, no documents, and nothing else. She should be registered, I think, especially if she works for governmental units. Sarah, her only family left in the world, has become a lessee. Lightning boards the Purge train in an effort to rescue her sister from the foul sea, but Sarah turns to Crystal right before her eyes. However, it is not long until Lightning herself becomes a lessee servant, so she has no family, and Sarah, her sister, was the only sibling she had in this world. And probably the only one, being the most valued. Oh man, that must be even deeper psychological trauma for her to have lost Sarah, her last family in this world. Oh man. She has lost her sister and became a pulse lessee, an enemy of Cocoon. What hope does she have left? Well, that's the question. Snow Villiers. Without a family to take care of him, also an orphan, Snow was raised in a sanctum facility. Is he kind of a... Oh my god. He's not a lab rat, is he? Now he leads a rebellious group of youths known as Nora. To prevent his beloved Sarah from becoming a thief, he swears to help her fulfill her focus. However, before they discover what that focus is, Sarah falls into crystal slumber. Now, a lessee himself, Snow interprets his fiancée's last words as the task he must complete, saving Cocoon. Saz Katzroy. Saz is a trained civilian airship pilot. Whoa, yeah, this is why he was so efficient at flying in this ship right there. My god, it's nice to have a pilot in our crew, that's for sure. I'm gonna be remembering that. Where could you have picked that information from if not from the data log? Though all of Cocoon's people view Pulse beings as invaders to be repulsed, few outside of the military decide to take matters into their own hands. What drives Saz, an ordinary civilian, to attack the Pulse Fal'Cie in a hanging edge? We don't know. After joining Lightning in her battle against the lower world entity, Saz shares her fate in becoming a lessee. Hope has time. Hope is a boy who, along with his mother, becomes a victim of the Purge. Answering Snow's call for volunteers, Hope's mother joins the rebellion but is killed in the subsequent conflict. From that moment onwards, the grief-stricken teen harbors a consuming hatred for the Nora leader. Oh man, this is terrible for a teen boy. He's still a boy, I believe. He's not even mid-teenager. He's not even 15. He's 13 or 12 at best. Just the way I look at him. With Vanille's encouragement, Hope follows Snow into the Pulse vestige. Within those ancient chambers, they encounter the Fal'Cie and are cursed with the brands of lessee. And Hope did that just because he was so filled with hatred. He wanted to see Snow again so much that it is stronger than the fear of becoming a lessee. Oh yeah, and Vanille used this discrepancy. She used this doubt in his mind, I believe. Vanille is kind of treacherous. Vanille is a young woman who was also aboard a Purge train. Oh, she's referred to as a woman already. She's also a child, I think. I would give her 16, maybe 17 or something like that. But this is just a child still. irrepressibly cheerful, she seems unaffected by the desperate situation around her. After being rescued from the train by Snow and his band of rebels, Vanille ends up sitting next to Hope and his mother. Following his mother's death, she sees the way the boy glares at Nora Leader. Vanille encourages Hope to join her and enter the Pulse Vestige, where they encounter Lower World fal'Cie. The mysterious woman. Yeah, well, this is something I would like to know. I know, right? I know who she is, but again, thinking of it like as though I'm playing this for the very first time. Who is that lady, and why is she a l'Cie? And why is she not pursued as a l'Cie? Those soldiers seem to be, like, on the same side with her. A mysterious woman captures Snow on Lake Brescia after his exhausting battle with Psycom and the twin sisters. She bears the mark of a l'Cie, but her brand appears scorched and twisted. Yeah, it's actually pale and white. As a servant of Pulse, she should be fleeing the Sanctum army, but she seems to be working with one of the military's units. Yeah. Oh yeah, Sarah Farron, Lightning's sister. Sarah is Lightning's younger sister. Despite losing both of her parents, she lives happily enough with her older sibling. Sarah's only real concern is Lightning's disapproval of her boyfriend Snow. Oh, happy life. She doesn't have to care about anything else. However, that all changes with the encounters the fal'Cie anima and the branded as a Pulse l'Cie. Yeah, when she encounters the fal'Cie anima. And now the fal'Cie anima's dead. Very nice. Cheer up. You are avenged. Without ever uncovering her task, she urges the others to save Cocoon before suddenly turning to Crystal. Though he cannot know for sure, Snow believes her final words to be the focus they must complete. Well, I believe it's because love leads him. By coincidence, though, but I agree with Snow. I am saying that for 100th time. Gallant Daisley is the Primarch, the human representative of the Sanctum, acting as a bridge between the fal'Cie Eden and the citizen-elected council. He facilitates the government of Cocoon. Until now, he has been as a conservative leader, never forcing the direction of the council and always having the best interests of the people at heart. But with the discovery of the Pulse fal'Cie in the Bodom, his leadership becomes ruthless and oppressive. With the purge policy being instigated over the span of a single night. Oh yeah, but his face is really, really strict and like filled with grief, like as though he's bearing some kind of heavy burden. We'll see about that, but he's also a very, very brainwashing bastard, utilizing language as his worst weapon. So, yep, we should keep an eye out for this guy too. Godot. A childhood friend of Snow, Godot is one of the founding members of Nora. With his impressive frame, he sees himself as a group's shock trooper. Oh yeah, he suits for this job best. Raised almost like a brother to Snow in a Sanctum facility, he knows the Nora leader better than anyone. Despite his often blunt comments and rough behavior, he's devoted to Snow's ideals of compassion. Yeah, he is his true friend and companion. Lebroy, a nice lady. Friends with Snow from a young age, Lebroy is one of the founding members of Nora as well as Godot. She runs a cafe they opened to fund Nora's operations. Wow, that's resourceful. And her cooking is one of the best kept secrets in Bodom. Oh god, yeah. I bet so. With her brusque, no-nonsense manner, she Yeah, the young woman is treated just like one of the guys. And she would have it no other way. Oh yeah. Maki, also a really small child. Maki joined the ranks of Nora out of his admiration for Snow. He loves to tinker with machinery and serves as group's mechanic. His talent for taking junk and using it to upgrade machines has provided Nora with a secret source of income. One day, Maki wants to be a reliable, heroic type like Snow, but he still has a long way to go. Nice! We have seen him in just a couple of scenes, but it's nice to know who he is. And Huge. Huge, a junior member of Nora. Huge is a kind-hearted young man with an insatiable interest in fashion. Oh yeah, he's just it's not called being gay, it's called being fabulous, right? Regards to PewDiePie, I never considered Huge to be any of the kind. I just like the way he dresses up. Yeah, he's really nice, I should say. Anyway, and I'm not biased in any way. I just like it. I just like the freedom he has in mind. Though he lacks the same courage as Snow and Godot, in dangerous situations his calming influence makes him an invaluable asset to the group. And finally we have the Chocobo chick as a very important addition to our crew as well. This Chocobo chick travels in Saz's hair. Though it has only been with Saz for a short while, a strong bond has formed between them. The chick has no name, as voicing the true identity of the animal might trigger ripples of destiny across Cocoon and cause a hurricane in Eden. Why haven't you given a name to this fancy chick? It is so nice. Why? Let's call him somehow. Any suggestions, ladies and gentlemen? Either yet, or Saz just hasn't... either that, or Saz just hasn't thought of one yet. Oh yes, and now we have finished pretty much with this. We got a lot of basics, controls and everything, but we have already read this all from the tutorials, so there's no need to browse through all this. And the enemy intel, we have a lot, but we don't really have to concern with that at this particular stage in the game. So yeah, congratulations ladies and gentlemen! We have dug through the entire section of this data log. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, before we march on, I'll see you in the next episode of Final Fantasy XIII on ANZ, where we'll go onwards and we'll see what fate is in store for Vanille and Saz, and for Lightning and Hope too. But for now, saying goodbye to you. I'll see you next time.